Hello everyone. It's another session of the hello everyone. My name is David Akomanafe. I would like to welcome you to another session of the SP Talks. And today is going promises to be very interesting because we are talking to some people already in the industry and they'll be telling us about how outside the four walls of schools. So let me quickly introduce them. So so first of all, we have Paul Akinyemi. I'm sure you guys know him because it was formerly the. I'll be fast with the introductions, but you could probably read on the screen. You could pause and read on the screen. So it was formerly the SP president for Obafemi Awolowo University chapter. That's our current chapter, and now is in the Department of Chemical and Biomolecular Engineering at Clancy University. It's going to be a great privilege for him to talk to us and enlighten us about outside the four walls. So also he's an effective leader in making. He loves where he is, and I feel for us that he's currently doing his PhD. So for us that want to jack power, so he's the one. He will have a lot of input for that. So please, thank you for being on stage, Paul Akiemi. Next, we have Emmanuel Owolabi. So I got to meet Emmanuel during one of SV events, one of SV's physical events, and it was Emmanuel is a really great guy. He's awesome. So let me go back to the script. So Taiwo Emmanuel Owolabi is an excellent, driven young professional and a skilled communicator. Professionally, is an information system auditor at GTCO. Yeah, you even tried explaining the difference between GTB and GTCO to me, and there's a much difference. But don't worry, stay tuned to see what. So and it was in OAU, and Taiwo is a firm believer in continuous learning and is big on personal development. He loves to share from his wealth of knowledge and experience through writing and speaking, especially with young folks. Yeah. Do you know that he was the best in CVE 401 in his set? So if you want to know about report writing, that's why he's currently an auditor, So listen more to Taiwo. Then finally, oops. Oh, okay. I skipped a slide. I'm sorry. Oh, yeah. Finally, we have wo- one more. Sorry, I'm coming. I skipped that slide. So we have Suma Omega. That is, I'm coming. Sorry. All right. Yeah. So we have Sumali Omega. So he's a consultant at Technical Consulting Practice of PwC. And everybody's an auditor. Shame me say I will not go and learn auditing like this. So prior to joining PwC, he worked at Patent Partners as a member of the global market team. He obtained a degree in petroleum engineering from the University of Ibadan. Wow. And is an award-winning student of accounting at the final stage of ICANN professional exam. It's a pleasure to have you on stage too, Mr. Omaga. All right then.
Yeah,
So
nice being here too.
sure. Thank you so much. So moving straight to the questions. That's so moving straight to the questions we have. This one will be going for Omaga because it's the only petroleum engineering graduate here. So as a petroleum engineering graduate, I learned that certificates would be useless if you don't get into the oil firm. So please, could you tell us how true this is, and what do you think is the way out of this?
Well, I think in my own opinion, there is actually no time a certificate could be useless because I think it's more about the process of obtaining that certificate in the very first place. I mean, if you look at the learning process, um, that certificate, exactly isn't useless. But if you then look at the opportunities that the certificate then provides you, you might then say it's maybe in a way useless. But I don't know. This is actually a very tough question. But to make it simple, it doesn't. Your certificate is never going to be useless. That's the very first thing. So I think let me just share maybe a few experiences with you. I've actually had to use my certificate in a number of places, outside the oil and gas industry. When I left school, I first, worked as a project engineer in a company. So I think the certificate in the very first place made the firm to believe that, oh, I mean, I went through a structured, learning process, and I could also apply that same process, also and also excel. So yeah, I was given a chance, even though I never studied, say, electrical engineering, which was basically what they were doing at the time. Then I went on to take accounting exams. I think I jumped into accounting at some point, worked as a finance associate in the firm. Again, of course, my certificate made me to get exemptions in ICANN. That is interesting thing. The fact that I actually had an engineering degree made me to get, made me not to start from ETS and all of that automatically. So that is just one other thing. So I started from, level one, and within 12 months, I was already at finals, like within 12 months. So it was just take the exam, pass, move on to next level. And I think at some point, I even came best in the course at the national level. So it actually quite, interesting. Then maybe at some other point, I moved on to the Nigerian capital markets, worked in the fixed income space basically for a while. Again, I didn't study anything like that in school, but I was still given a chance to, work in that space. I did. Then I finally, moved to PwC. So I think interestingly, I worked in about four different industries within 12 months. So, and I moved across industries with my certificate. So it's more about the process. Thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you for a beautiful answer. Yeah, I tell people too, with time, we should just follow the process, and I think everything will lay out for us. So yeah, my next question goes to Emmanuel Olabi. So yeah, as a fresh graduate, how can a fresh graduate escape unemployment sharply? Like, what are the things you think we should achieve and prepare for ourselves so that we would be fit to quickly enter inside the all space?
Okay, please, just to confirm if you can hear me clearly.
Yeah, we can.
Okay. Okay, so for a fresh graduate breaking into the industry, well, I would say in the kind of ecosystem where we find ourselves here, it might be quite challenging. But the only thing, maybe one of the things that I found out to work is that you should be valuable. Having value to offer stands you out of the crowd because it's just what people cannot resist. Every organization is set up with an objective. Make profit, do one thing or another, most especially to make profit. And they want people to come on board to provide value either as the accountant in the accounting department, in the IT department, in the HR or whatever units they all have all together that form the organization. They want different people to come give value and they want people who know their honor in a sense, or people who are ready to learn as fast as they can to provide that value so that their objectives can be achieved. So as a fresh graduate, what you should work on like all of the time, I would say, is to be valuable in your chosen space, either it's in wherever, either you study engineering or not, because I perceive there are some people who might join who are not engineering students. So it's just for you to be valuable. Nobody can resist someone who's got value. You do your things excellently. It's very, very hard to put you aside. So that stands you out of the crowd and then it's easy for you to break into any of the spaces you want to break into. I think other fellow speakers might still speak to this later as well. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Emmanuel. Like that's brilliant. Like, yeah, we need to add value. Like that excellent spirit has to always drive us. Yeah, thank you so much. So, Paul Akiemi, I would like to ask you. You are currently doing your PhD, so please, like, what is the drive for you to continue in your career? Like, why do you choose your PhD, and help educate us undergrads?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, great. Yeah, I'm just going to continue from where Emmanuel stopped. Adding value first, but you need to know what you want to do. That's the thing. Leaving school some want to go into the industry, some want to go to grad school, some want to, take some courses and, maybe go into the IT world. As we had it back then, some of my classmates while we were graduating, didn't pursue a career in chemical engineering. Some of them went for maybe a 6 month IT training, learned data science or some of all those courses, and within 6 months, 1 year, they went into other careers, right? So first, I chose to pursue graduate school because that is what I want to do. I was not ready to go into the industry while I was done. I did not feel ready enough. I had my internship at Nigerian breweries, so I had a little work experience and all that, but I wasn't so confident that I will be going into the industry right away. So I needed, the extra leverage that would give me, something better in the industry. I wasn't ready to settle at that stage with my BSc. So that was the main reason why I'm pursuing, uh, a PhD program in chemical engineering. Yeah, it all comes to what you want. When you leave your bachelor's, when you're done with that, what do you want to do? That's the next question. So if you don't know what to do, then you don't know how to do it. So you need to know what you want to do. Then you ask questions about how to go about it. Then you meet those who have done it before. Those are the three key questions that you need to like answer. What do I want to do? How am I going to go about it? Then who are those that have done it before? So they give me, their input, and that makes the journey fast, right? So that's it. I hope I've answered your question.
Yeah, you did. You did
Yeah.
brilliantly. It's like following line of Olabi, you said we should add, first of all, sticking to our values. Then
Mhm.
afterwards, we should know what we want to do. Like, okay, yeah, probably the school you want. And then you told us why you chose school because you didn't want to just settle with your BSc. You wanted to
Mhm.
add to it. And now, since you've chosen what you want to do, yeah, you asked how, and then you asked people that are already there, like how they did it. So probably very soon I'll be coming to meet you to ask you how you did it too. So
Oh,
if that's what I want.
no problem.
Yeah. So next question I'll be going to Sumaya. So I'll be asking. Sorry, can I call you Omaga because I think I cannot pronounce very well. Yeah. I'm
Yeah, most
sorry.
of my friends call me Omada really. But
All right.
but the pronunciation is Smiler, like smile, Smiler. So it's
Okay.
not.
Smile. Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Mm-hmm.
But
So
go
all
on with
right then.
Omaga.
The next question is even good. Yeah, part of in the accounting firm and all. So is there anything you did as an undergraduate that you're still doing to really help secure funds? Because here in this school, like it's very hard. Like Sakpa is here and there. So yeah, is there anything you did show you're an undergraduate or something you are currently doing, to help secure funds?
Well, okay. While I was in school, if I actually did anything else to, in that regards, I think it would actually just be uh, just doing some freelance business analysis, business consulting, and that was just it. So think of it like this. Maybe actually just add some PhD students. We're doing some really interesting, thesis, and I just needed assistance with, some sort of, environmental analysis, and I mean business environment analysis and all of those things. So I provide assistance and, you know, just get paid. So that was actually just it. But I think to add more context to that, and perhaps to add a bit to what Paul said. For me, it always just starts with understand your environment, understand what sells in your environment, understand where the money is, to put it in very simple sense. So now, once you understand where the money is, the next thing should actually just be what are your interests. Again, I did not just say understand where the money is and just go after it, because you could actually just get into an endless space that way. So it always starts with understand where it is, then understand your own interest and understand where your strength lies. then find the match between the two and pursue. You'll definitely find money. So that is it.
Yeah, beautifully said. Beautifully said. Then, since people are saying that data is the new oil, I think now I shall align myself towards data and start maybe data
Well,
analysis.
but data in itself is actually quite
Yeah,
broad. Like beyond just saying data, I mean, you could go in as and say as an ML engineer, a machine learning engineer. You could go in as a pure data scientist. You could even go in as say an Azure data scientist, particularly. You could go in as a data engineer, not even a data scientist. You could go in as a whole lot of different stuffs. And I think another interesting thing that people don't even know is you could go in as a Salesforce analyst, just maybe identify a particular software, so like a Salesforce, an SAP, or an Oracle, develop some interesting expertise in it, and go all in. So it's actually quite broad. These guys just use data in different ways, and they're doing so many interesting stuff. So once you actually just identify data again, know what it entails, then define your own interest. For me, ordinarily, because I was just pursuing maybe accounting at the time, and I felt data science could be much applicable in the accounting world when you're talking about say a financial statement analysis, say some sort of modeling and all of that. So maybe data science would actually just be a natural call. So yeah, find the match simply
yeah.
for the
Thank you.
two.
I would find my match. So then to Emmanuel, I would like to ask. Currently, you serve as an auditor. So, like, why did you choose a different career path apart from the course of study, and what are the benefits have you encountered so far?
Okay. Um, I didn't get the second question.
Okay,
What
what
are
are
the
the
benefits,
benefits?
right?
Yeah, yes.
Oh, okay. I think I get asked this question a lot when people get to find out that this guy is a graduate of chemical engineering. What is he doing in the financial services? Okay, maybe just to clear some doubts in the hair a little. I don't necessarily deal with money. I do. You definitely won't see me at the counter. Maybe interaction with the customer, with cash, whatever. I'm basically in the high space. And okay, breaking into that space for me wasn't something I would say as so difficult because it was one thing that I just relied on that I could play anywhere in any industry that is ready to where I can find my skills very useful. Yeah, I had my engineering certificate at hand, and also I had some set of skill sets that I've you know, developed from the undergraduate days that I had on another hand. And having the passion for the IT space, for the tech space, was one of them. And then, an opportunity showed up, kind of. So probably I've had the opportunity to play in maybe in manufacturing, oil and gas, or pharmaceuticals. Yeah, maybe I would have been there by now. But an opportunity showed up next, and I felt like, okay, I think I have the skills for this. I know I'm very confident I can learn and adapt in any space. So that was what gave me the leverage to go all in and still do just fine. Yeah, I would do very fine in an engineering space. So as to the benefits, well, I would say I don't know. I don't really know what to tag as a benefit. But the benefit is that I'm doing what I love. You know, yeah. Sometimes it might be very very hard. You wake up, oh, do I want to go to work today? Maybe you're feeling tired, maybe due to previous day's work. But knowing that I can sit behind a desktop or a laptop and provide value to my organization, do what is required of me to do, and that to see that tech infrastructure, processes, and systems do just fine within the bank. It's something that I love to do. So I would say that's one of the benefits. Yeah, doing something interesting and you're being rewarded well for that. So that I would say is the benefit that I enjoy.
Yeah, you know, you said it well because to me, I feel wherever you can be impactful, wherever you see knowledge, sorry, wherever you can see value, your value being given out to others, I feel like that's where you should be. And yeah, it's real good. I hope to follow in your footsteps. So then the next question to Paul. So I would like to ask, like from what you've learned during your BSc, like, is there any way you're applying it for your PhDs? Is or was it just all a waste, or starting afresh, or what? Like, how has it been?
Well, I had a BS in chemical engineering, and this is a PhD in chemical engineering. So definitely, the knowledge I got in bachelor's are transferable, right? Well, I started research like from scratch here because I'm working on electrochemistry and energy related materials applications. So the knowledge, the foundation that I got from, I think was CHM 102 or thereabout. So those knowledge, I still apply them right here. Back then we used to solve small Abbas and big Abbas, right? So you write all those reactions. But they used to call me small Abbas back then. So because I was always going around with the chemistry textbook, right? So those knowledge, you write those equations, those basic, fundamental things, you still need them. PhD is just a big word, but when you're doing research, you know, as a PhD student, you need to you need to, like, go to the basics, understand the fundamentals of all your reactions that is happening in the system. So definitely it was not a waste. It wasn't. I had to like use all those skills and I'm still using them right now. Transport phenomena, fluid mechanics. I took some courses relating to things I've done in undergrad in my first semester and second semester. Thermodynamics, I still use those things. And even in electrochemistry, you will be surprised that, reaction engineering is still in electrochemistry. Transport phenomena is still in electrochemistry. You study diffusion, you study all those diffusivity, flow rate and all those things. The field of chemical engineering is, it's more, it's interconnected in a way. So there's nothing that is a waste, right? So to all the students, you need to like focus on all you're doing. There's this popular word like school as scam. It's always going around in the students. So don't follow that. Whatever you're doing, even if it's not convenient for you, even if it's not comfortable, I mean, put yourself through the hard work. Make sure you have the tenacity to keep going on, even if it's not easy. All right, all those knowledge, you never know. Don't follow those people saying school as scam. Don't follow them. It's not true. I can tell you that all the knowledge you are getting now, you will still use all those residual knowledge in the future, even if you're not working in that field. You never know what can happen. And in a country like Nigeria that is not stable, you can get any job, and you never know what you will be doing. As a chemical engineer, you might be doing a mechanical engineer work, right? And then you will need the principle of fluid mechanics and all that, or your thermodynamics. You will need to apply all those things. So whatever they're asking you to do, make sure you put in your best. Do your best. Don't kill yourself, and don't be depressed. But keep putting in your best and keep pushing on, keep going. And also, an organization like SP, very wonderful organization. Don't follow them and just Facebook alone. The part of SP networking and all that. So all those things, you meet people even in the industry that tell you how you can connect things you're doing in class, connect it to what is going on in the industry. As we usually say back then, we say SP, it's the bridge between the classroom and the industry, right? So things like that, we don't just say it for fun. It's not to scam you or anything or to collect your 500 naira back then. It is actually the truth. It connects, the classroom to the industry. You don't know all the things you're learning. What's the course of this man, Dr. Sonda, that we did in
Mass
300 level?
transfer,
Mass transfer, exactly. In fact, I'm using mass transfer now in my PhD. So yeah, mass transfer, it is necessary even in the industry. While I was working with Nigerian breweries, All those principle of mass transfer, everything, I was applying them. We will have like the pasteurizer, and you'll be moving the beverages right from one point to the other. There's what we call pasteurization back in Nigerian breweries. So it's a way to like preserve the quality of the product. So when you have the bottles going in through, there's like a principle of temperature dynamics or something that is applied in that system. So imagine if I was saying schooner scam, schooner scam. For those who are not Nigerian, schooner scam is like a common word amongst them to say we will not apply all what we've been doing, you know, in the industry. So that's like the meaning of schooner scam. So all those things, funny enough, I was applying all those things. So I was connecting everything. So don't follow them. It's very necessary. Keep doing what you're doing, put in your best, volunteer for organizations like SPE, join all those things. All right. So that's it. That's my take. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Paulus. Like I could remember you were the one who collected my 500 naira at the faculty when we were doing faculty registration. If I had known, probably I would have given you 1,000 because yeah, I've benefited a lot through SP. Yeah, thank you so much. So we'll be rounding up. So please, if you have questions, drop them on the comment section. And yeah, at least I think we have about 4 more minutes. So yeah. So Ifeoluwa Akemi asked, can you compare graduate school to undergraduate school? So that would be for Paulus again. But before Paulus answers that, I would like Omega to, share his brief tips on like any tips you have for undergraduates.
Um, okay, so I would just say number one, that whatever you're learning in school, just learn it and learn it really well. Get the best grade you can get. That is actually still it. And I'll say it over and over again. Just get the best grade you can get. If first class is the best grade you can get as a person, get it. If it is 2-1, get it. And if it is 2-2, if that is the best you can get, I mean, according to your own capacity, right? Just get it. uh, you will need it. That is just the thing. I mean, people will use it to define who you are. And I would actually just say that if it is 2-2 or third class you end up getting, I mean, before leaving school, just make sure you have an X. I mean, just make sure you can actually do something that would stand you out, even amidst, first class student. Yeah, once you're getting into the 2 to third class range, I mean, just make sure you have something. I mean, an X. So aside that, okay, if I also assume that I'm talking to engineering students, I would actually just say engineering students actually have a whole lot of opportunities ahead because wherever you end up finding yourself, you still discover that with a little effort, you could be a star. I mean, I would say something that while I was working in the fixed income space, at first, getting into that space, you need to know how the capital market works and all of that. So you start out as say a novice, but trust me, at some point when we begin to really get into the nitty gritty, you begin to do a lot of bond valuations where, I mean, a single equation, for example, could be as long as a page. At that particular point, the engineering guy in you begins to come out, right? Why the accounting guys begin to suffer. So something like that. Because yeah, as the equations get longer, you get more comfortable, right? You're trying to know how the numbers connect and how everything. So you enjoy the ride, and you begin to, become the star. So as an engineering guy, take everything you learn really seriously. You might not do those things just the way they are, but there are so many instances you would have to apply them, and you just do great. So again, finally, know the market. Now, whatever you have, or however skilled you are, if you don't know the market, you're just going to struggle. So knowing the market basically just means, you know, okay, let me give an instance. While we're in school, I think in third year, we knew in the simplest terms possible that petroleum engineering was not going to put food on our table, most likely. And why was it like that? I mean, we're basically reading a whole lot of publications by BP, and a whole lot of other international organizations. SP was a very great platform, we were attending various SPA platform, and we could see, the industry trend. So it was just very obvious that within the next, couple of years, the oil and gas industry wouldn't be recruiting, and even if they'll be recruiting, they'll recruit just really few. I mean, during my NYC, I started out interviewing with Schlumberger, but at some point they had to, stop the entire process when COVID hit and they started, retrenching. I mean, I said before us, they actually just employed only one person from UI, you know. So there was just only this guy that got into Schlumberger. The other guys didn't even get into the oil and gas industry. They were all outside of the oil and gas industry. Even those that ended up going for masters and PhD and all of that in the oil and gas industry, they ended up doing, working in industries outside of the oil and gas. I mean, that was just a pointer that, man, there's no space in this place. So it was actually just so clear. So yeah, so the basic point was that there was actually no space, and what we're actually just doing at that point was everybody was diversifying. Like people that were going into technology, were going into technology, and a whole lot of my colleagues, back in those days, are actually doing great. We have some of them working, with companies in London, in the US, and a whole lot of different, places, in different, capacities within the technology space. So so it's just okay to know. It's okay, that your certificate might or might not help you while you're in school. And as a matter of fact, that is great. That is the greatest thing. I mean, when you just know these things long ahead. So what you just need to do now is, now that you know, so what are you going to do? So basic, identify, a market, identify where people are going to. You can say the renewable energy space, the ESG space, the data and everything around data, and even stuff like, say, on the line architecture, like maybe things around computer engineering and all of those things. So just identify where the market is going and just position yourself. Work hard and you'll find success. Yeah, that is it for me.
Yeah, thanks so much, Amaga. You were really explanatory, and yeah, I see there's opportunities for everyone, so stick to that. Mhm. So, Paulos, the question from the comments for you: can you compare graduate school to undergraduate school?
Well, that question is too broad. So I would just try to like answer it based on how I'm thinking, the person who asks is thinking, right? First, graduate school, you know, requires more from you. That's one thing. When you say graduate school and undergrad, of course, with the word under. So undergraduate is definitely undergrad school, you understand. So you can't really compare the two together head on. Graduate school takes more from you when it comes to research. You need to always think right off your feet. Right in undergrad, they were doing everything for us back then. They spoon feed you, give you textbooks to read. You need to go meet the lecturers, like, sir, what textbooks are you using? And they will give it to you and all that. It was not easy, and of course it wasn't. Undergrad was not easy, but grad school is not it's not easy too equally. You have to like spend hours reading journals, reading textbooks to carry out experiments. We're not doing experiment that much back then. So, but now, it's more like a daily habit. Wake up in the morning, poof, you're off to the lab. You make some research, run experiments, data analysis. Then when you're done, you compare if the results you have matches what is going on, in the field. Then if something is wrong, you need to always constantly stay up ahead of what is happening in the field. So definitely graduate school, you can't compare the two together. But of course, if you don't have undergrad, you can't go to grad school because you need those basics, the fundamentals, right? You need to transfer some of those skills to grad school. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Paula. So another question from Kaito Chuku. So please, I would like Emmanuel to answer this. So she asked, is it bad not to have clarity on what next after school?
Okay. I think there was a little complaint about my mic, so just permit me so if I could use this closer to my mouth.
All
Okay.
right.
I believe I'm very audible enough,
Yeah, you are.
right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes.
So yeah, it's not bad not having clarity as to what next after school. I'll be truthful to you. Myself, I didn't have clarity. I didn't have everything figured out. I'm not so sure everybody has everything figured out yet because a lot of things happen, changes happen. Like Smiler was, speaking to some of the experiences earlier. You can just probably have a plan, and then things can just come and change. Remember the COVID year? A lot of IOCs were not recruiting. I think I had a colleague that I worked, where I worked at first. It was one leg into Exxon Mobil and it was one leg out. Until now, he's not back there because he just got in there, and because COVID happened, they had to put a lot of things on pause. You know, and then they were just paid for 3 months, and after 3 months, they stopped paying him. So a lot of things happen, even if you have plans laid out. You have your plan A, you have your plan B, you have a C, and even up to Z. Things can change. It's okay not to have everything all figured out in school. But what is not okay, like I think I shared on my timeline yesterday evening, was that it's not okay to stay there. You need to ask questions before you can get clarity. Knowing you yourself can even have an idea of, okay, these are my interests. This is where my strength lies. This is what I want to do. And then you need to start asking questions. Who are those that have done what you feel you want to do? It's just you looking around and studying your environment, like Smila said as well. Study your environment, look around. What can I do? That's what some employers will basically ask you. I can remember one of my interview sessions asked me, what have you done? What are you doing currently? So it's just you not having to just sit down, I do because you don't have clarity yet. Yes, you might not have, knowing that a lot of things are happening here. Oh, there are no jobs outside there. I don't think that's what you should maybe. They are just for those that get into the industry. A lot of mindset that I had earlier changed. There are actually jobs there. It's just you knowing how to position yourself, how to get them. If it's jobs, if it's the industry you want to get into, and if it's the graduate school, there are people you should follow. LinkedIn is a very wide space where you get to see a lot of people. Someone like Paul, he will have a lot of experiences to share with you as to, okay, this is how you can go about this, get this handy, have this handy, know this, study this. They can guide you and hold you by the hand. You can make out the time to. There are a lot of people that you can definitely find in your network that can also help you provide clarity because no one is an island. You have to belong to a community. People have stressed that a lot, and that can actually even help you find clarity. And for me, as an example, I could remember it was a friend who kind of gave me a nod to even send an application to the, a financial industry because I wasn't considering what am I doing in financial services. I don't want to work in a bank. Even though, yeah, I knew that I could function anywhere due to the kind of skill sets that I already developed. But it was like, no, you could consider them. They do fine too, this and that. And when opportunity showed up to, link my passion, like I earlier explained, that I could do some things in the IT. And then it showed up, and then I was like, okay, I think this is good. And I took it, and it's been fine onward. So, not having clarity is fine, but it's not fine staying there. You need to start asking questions, meet people. When you volunteer, you get to talk with other people, and that can get provide some ideas for you. Yeah, some of the things I started doing in school, so most of them happened from conversations with people. And my own desire to kind of help people, I started to find a solution to that. And one of those things, if you read my bio, I was writing CVs then, cover letters to people as a student, for my own fellow students. And that was because, it all came up that some people would just come, oh, is this CV okay? I want to submit it here. And then I would just read up on some things online. Oh, okay, change this, change that, remove this, add this, and add that, just so it could be cool. And then I went on just, from that, I developed interest in like, okay, I think this thing is actually cool. I started reading and taking courses, learning, reading blog posts on CV writing, interviews, and all of that. And in no time, when I was done with school, while waiting for service, I could provide this as a service. And that was what I started out first as my first digital skill that I provided as a service. Because, okay, I could write, and then this particular niche of writing, I was sound in it. So clarity can come from anywhere, and it all starts with building this, building strategic relationships around yourself, belonging to a community. and that can help you get to find clarity as even knowing what to do after school. I don't know if that has helped, but if you probably need some clarity, I think I know you well. We could talk in the DM. Thank you.
No, yeah, that was really helpful. Even me, I'm trying to find clarity. That's why I attend some SP events. I go for, at least I think there was a YP forum. That was where I even met Emmanuel and different stuff. So I just try to get exposed to what's out there and try to pick what's best for me. So at least I hope I did that right. Mhm. So, is there any other question? Okay, let's see. So I would like to ask, who do I ask now? Omega, yes. So a lot of students, because of this ASU strike, they are planning to drop out. They are planning to, some are even earning money. They're earning millions. So, and they're like, well, is there any point, continuing this school or stuff? So, what advice do you have for them?
Okay, so again, I would still say just stay calm. I mean, ASU strike can't last longer than 6 months. I mean, or this current ASU strike can't last longer than 6 months. So it will soon be over. I mean, back then in UI, right? Just always having these thoughts that this strike can't be more than 6 months. And interestingly, the moment it crosses 6 months, you can already see resumption in maybe a month, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or something. So it's usually no more than 6 months. If it exceeds 6 months, it's not going to be more than 7 months. So it's going to be over. And that is just one thing. And what that then does is that the moment you know you have about 6 months to develop yourself in a particular space, trust me, that is actually more than enough to develop expertise in any niche and just start making money from that space. 6 months is a lot of time, really. If you're going to wake up every day and pursuing just a single course, trust me, you eat it. So that's just how that goes. So I would actually just say, don't drop out. I actually consider dropping out in 300 level because at that point, the school was stressful, number one. And number two, like I was not seeing, like the industry was contracting, and that was really scary, right? Why do I need to stay up overnight studying drilling and reservoir engineering when the reservoir engineering isn't gonna help me out at the end of the day? So that was really, really bad. But trust me, at some point, we actually then started studying courses like petroleum economics and some of those things. And I could easily just, I was doing really great in stuff like Peticons, engineering economics. And I thought, come on, I mean, this thing is cool. I think I like this thing, but it's not looking like I'm gonna be, say, a pet economics as Chevron or Mobile or something. That I wasn't seeing that inside. But the entire economics, and everything we're doing in that particular space could actually be applied in another different industry. And that was actually part of those things that then took me first of all into the accounting space, took me first of all to being a finance associate, took me first of all, to working in the capital market. So you get how the links work. And I think that answers the question that if your lawyer is asking that, so maybe Ephraim, that what skills from the engineering can we apply to other industries? So it's always just about what aspect of engineering are you precisely. Now, in what you do in that particular engineering space, what do you like most in it? Trust me, for everything you really like in that space, you can apply it elsewhere. So for me, it was, I like Peticons. I was, scoring 90s very easily in that particular course. I mean, and from there, I just, started taking ICANN. I think about 2, 3 of my colleagues, we started ICANN in 300 level together. That was the interesting thing. We just knew petroleum was not gonna, do it. So we start some people started ICANN in 200 second semester, 300 they started, some ACCA. Trust me, by 500 you're done. So you're graduating as an accounting graduate, you're graduating as an engineer at the same time. You definitely find a job. Like you will just find the job 100% because another thing is the financial industry is really wide. I'm sure Emmanuel can attest to that. Like it's just really, really wide. And what you'd find is that people are always willing to employ. The problem is that they are not just people that can do the job. That is just it. I mean, I was working at the time in a company and we had to bring in an Indian to come do something. And we're paying the guy about $5,000 or $6,000 per month. Trust me, you bring him all the way down from India, you pay his accommodation, you pay his flight to and fro India. You do every single thing for this guy, and it comes down, you don't pay him in naira, you still pay him in dollars, even while he's in Nigeria. Do you understand? So companies are actually doing this, and trust me, even till date, companies do these things. Like I say these things, day in, day out in the industry. So why is it like that? Because there are spaces where Nigerians can't do this thing. We don't have Nigerians that can do this thing. But look at it, flip it. On the other side, you see very large Nigerian number of Nigerians who are just shouting, there is no job, we don't have anything, there's nothing we can do. On the other side, you see some people, I mean, there are too many jobs, but there are not just people to do them. So I think there's just no match, really. I mean, do you understand the point I'm making? So there's actually not just no match between those willing to employ and those looking for the job. Like there's just no match. So for me, it's more about identify a field, and go all in, and you'll find that there are actually just a whole lot of spaces in there. So to make it a bit simpler, maybe even in the chemical engineering space, you would understand that. I mean, ask colleagues working at Dangote Refinery, for example, you'd find that very large number of people working there are Indians, why aren't there, so many Nigerians? Because they are not Nigerians who are actually skilled in those specific aspects of chemical engineering that are applicable. Maybe it's because we don't have, industries in this space. Well, maybe that is true. But another thing is that if you actually look at the accounting space, I'm in a forum that every day, like every single day, they actually advertise for minimum of 10 accounting roles. Like I see minimum of 10 accounting roles every single day. So there are jobs, but there are not just people to do them. So again, the financial industry is really wide. You might consider, if you like petty accounts and all of those things, engineering, economics, you might consider, having a look at what the accounting industry is. If you end up going back into engineering, I mean, you would have learned a lot. Maybe that you can apply to your own private life. You wouldn't have lost money. Then again, if you decide to go in for a PhD at the end of the day, attest to that is that you get to see application of data one thing or the other in biomolecular, whatever. You see application of data you just see application of data in different things. And these are the PhD topics that people keep saying, even those that studied chemistry. That means that getting to have an additional skill, be it in the accounting space or even in the data space, technology space, you could always just apply it to your own domain, be it chemical engineering domain or be it electrical engineering domain. You could apply it to that domain and have something entirely different. I mean, I saw there was this particular role I was considering at some point, and guess what it was? Cloud economist. So the cloud side of it was basically cloud, like cloud, computer cloud, and we say Azure cloud, say AWS cloud. That was the cloud. Then the other side of it was, a cloud economist. That's somebody that could actually manage that cloud from an economic perspective. You understand? So those things are, roles are evolving. You see roles like this coming up, but you actually don't see people who have the expertise to actually manage these things. And a number of these roles are remote roles. So you get to work in Lagos, work in Ife for a company in the US, and they pay you 6K dollars every month while you are seated in Ife buying rice for 150 naira per plate or 200 naira per plate. So it's just a whole lot of money for somebody in Ife while working for a firm in the US. So trust me, there are a lot of opportunities in the world. So like as much as I feel bad being alive at this crazy time because of the whole what's going on, trust me, this actually still a very good time to be alive. Yeah. Thank you. And I hope I answered the question, David. Maybe I
Yeah,
got too
you did.
excited
You
about it.
you cemented the question, like you did very good with that. So I think we'll be taking our final question now, and this would be going to Paul. I don't know, the pin icon is not working, but okay, yeah, I'll read it out to you in case it doesn't work. So, what are some of the things I can start doing now as an undergraduate to get to the labor market as early as possible after school?
Okay. First, there are two things I would like to talk about for that. One is your academic readiness, and the other is life skills. Right. So first, to get into the labor market as early as possible, uh, you need good grades. That's a no-brainer. You need to do well academically. Make sure you pass all your courses well, because if you don't come out with at least 2-1 in Nigeria, in fact, if you have first class, that's when they will even give you more precedence, right? But 2-1 is still okay to compete, of course. That's for the academic readiness. And second is the life skills. You need to network. We cannot overestimate this. You understand? I can't overemphasize rather. So you need to meet people. Go for conferences. NICE. NICE still. You still have NICE, right, David? Right? So Lagos technical meetings, you need to constantly go for meetings like that. During expos in NICE, I remember, like, I used to go to the booths, go to Exxon Mobil, go to Slum BJ, go to Chevron. Yeah. So we will sit down, listen to all their lectures. Then we will meet with the professionals from those industries to ask them how we could get in. So you can always, like, get internship connections, meet all those professionals. So that's the thing. You need to start doing all those things very early. First, it is very good that you've decided to enter the labor market in Nigeria right now. So this is the very first step in your very bright future, right? You know what you want to do. As I've said previously, then you need to ask questions. What do I need to do? Which is, you need good grades, then you need good life skills, communication, networking, you know. Everything is not all about the technical skills. I want you guys to know technical skills is just one among several other things that you need, right? You need to learn good communication skill. You need to learn good writing skills, right? You need to know how to talk to people, meet professionals, talk to them, ask questions, learn from them, and go back home. All those things you learn from them, you need to go back home and learn all those skills. What do I need to enter this industry? Okay, I need to learn this software, I need to learn this, I need to learn that. Then you go back home and start learning. Then you keep in touch with those people. You need mentors. So that's, without mentors, there's nothing you will be able to do, right? Your chances are very slim. So that's what I would, tell to somebody coming from below, from undergrad, sorry. So you need to, like, do all those things, and definitely I'm very sure you will get something good out of it. So that's it.
Yeah, thank you. And sorry, in one more minute, can you like please answer the last question on the screen? So that's
Oh, okay. How relevant is having a PhD in the technical slash engineering industry? Is PhD more relevant in the research industry? Oh, definitely. In the world, not even up to 1% of the world population has a PhD. So that tells you something. If the crowd is not running towards something, that means it's not easy, right? And once it's not easy that way, people spending 5 years, 6 years, in fact 7 years in Nigeria to get a PhD. So that tells you something. They are testing your grit, your tenacity, research and development, reading, getting new trends, going back to the laboratory to create new things, solve problems. So I would definitely tell you PhD is very relevant in the industry. And if not so, there are some positions that are, dedicated to just PhDs. Right here in the US, you go to companies like, Tesla, you know, ExxonMobil, Chevron. Some positions are just, dedicated to just PhD students, not bachelors, not masters. Why? Because they know PhD students will be the one to be able to conduct necessary research. They have the tools, they have a proven record, of doing research and development from the laboratory over the course of 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, whatever. So that's it. It's very relevant. I would say that.
all right. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone from Omega to
Hello,
Emmanuel to
hello, David.
Paulus. Yeah, yes.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, I was also looking at the time. Just to quickly, if you could permit me, there was no option to raise the hand here. Maybe I would have done
Yeah,
that. Just
okay.
I quickly added a previous part Paul shared the other time about knowing what to start doing from undergraduate. If you would notice, if you joined the stream early enough, you notice some of the things that we have shared for the three of us. mostly also like linked to what we all started out doing as on in our undergraduate days. The little clarity that we were able to pick up, to start doing some things. So the urge to start building some form of value. I didn't know the things that I was learning in school, how they were going to be useful. I just was learning some things, developing writing. I do say to people, writing is not for writers. Writing is a life skill. Like it's a life skill, communication as well. You need to know how to talk to people, like Paul mentioned. And I love that he mentioned all this because I think I scribbled some of them on my notes if I were to even maybe expand on them. But thank God you already mentioned that. Your communication game, your relationship game, how you talk to people. You don't network with professionals, and the next thing you're asking them because they are in Chevron, they're in ExxonMobil, they're in PwC or wherever. It's start asking them for money. Some people do that. It's not. Please don't be in that WhatsApp group, please. You need to know how to. Some of them might give you financial help. It's not that it's out of place, but that shouldn't be, the reason you're connecting to them. You should just be mainly for learning purpose, and it shouldn't be parasitic. It shouldn't just be there to just you're there to just to be getting from them. It should be a way that you're providing value for them. I tell you, you always be ready to hear out your questions and whatever it is. And if they give you something to go do or you want to get something done, try and do your own research around it first. Go online, check out. You cannot come to them. Oh, this is what you come up with. What are their thoughts on it? It's easier for them to help you build up from there rather than when they have to help you build up from scratch. Like there is nothing you're bringing to even show them, to ask them, the right questions, that they have to be the one asking you some certain questions that you should be asking, shouldn't be it. So these are things that you can learn online. YouTube is a very good resource. LinkedIn also is a very good resource where you could learn quite a lot of things, how to communicate, how to write, listen to speakers, read blog posts of good writers. I tell you, that was where I developed my own writing skills at first. I never attended a formal writing school right from my undergraduate. I just was drawn to reading a lot of things that interest me online, offline, and I attended the event as well, the ones I could attend within school, you understand. So please build all of those capacity and do everything you do excellently. You will find them very useful, when you get outside there, either graduate school or in the industry. You will find them very useful. You can't be doing research and not know how to write. You definitely will be copying and pasting what you find online into your research work. You understand? You need to know how to do research, how to summarize, how to do a lot of things. You understand how to reference your people's work. It's got across a lot. I think Paul can even speak more to that. Been in the research space for over a year now. You can speak more to that. So please start building capacity. Be excellent at what you do. Be a good relator. Be a good communicator. Your relationship game should be top notch as well. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Like, you guys really have. My daughter is full. I doubt if I say what I've jotted down, the 1 hour would not have gone. But regardless, I would like to appreciate your effort for coming to speak to us. And yeah, like I'm really grateful. And at least I know what to do now. And my next moves during this break. Yeah, so a lot of things are even coming from the comment section. Yeah, because really it was real insightful. So I would like to ask you guys, like, how could we contact you? Because a lot of people are already asking for your numbers, your email, and all. So how could we contact you after this the talk? Now, anyone, Omega, Apollos, wants to contact all of you. Like people are asking for your numbers. Emmanuel.
I'm on LinkedIn.
Or just type my name on LinkedIn too,
All
guys.
right. So LinkedIn it is then. So everyone, please.
Okay. I'm also on LinkedIn as well. Though I'm not so active, but you can always take communication off there. Maybe to a place where I'm active, maybe WhatsApp or IG sometimes. But I think WhatsApp is the more frequent thing for me. So you could
Okay
communicate
then.
there. You
So that means
find
we
me
can
at
share your. Okay.
Taiwo Emmanuel Olabi. Okay, I think David, you have that. You can share it in
Yeah.
the
All right
comment
then.
section when
We
you
would.
connect.
Yeah.
So when
So
you
thank you.
connect, please just send a message. DM. Okay, this is where we met. So I'll be able to know because if you just connect as a friend, I won't know definitely.
Mhm. All right, then we'll do that. So, yeah, thank you, speakers. And now moving on would be talking about the following events, the other SPOE events that we have. So, yeah, thank you. So, are going to be having the Microsoft Excel Masterclass coming up this Monday. So, please, you guys should tune in. It's going to be really impactful. We have Gerald D'Angelo, the co founder of Excel for Engineers. Yeah, so please tune in, and also please, if you enjoyed today's event, please like, subscribe, and so that you see all our recent updates. So that will be all from us today, and have a wonderful weekend.
All right,
Thank
thank
you.
you.